you really hate Sean Combs.
Why would they be thinking that?
Because of the things that you post on Instagram, because of the...
Look at this. And let's stop for a second and do say that I hated him enough to hire his kids. And we've never done anything to each other. So it's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists while you're in hip-hop culture.
Because there's a point where it kind of gets aggressive. He says, like, you're going to find out, like how I'll handle this. Like, and that's... An attorney want to be combative with another attorney. That's not like your publicist would say those things.
But one time walking in the studio and it was like a small gap and bleak beans. Everybody was in there and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now. Just flood it, put out a lot of music because
Behind the velvet curtain, whispers claim that 50 Cent was itching to drop footage and testimony supposedly tying Jay-Z to some shady shenanigans with Diddy. These weren't tossed off as gossip or backstage chatter. They were framed as full-blown allegations about knowing too much, maybe playing a part, and covering tracks. Later, 50 Cent confirmed the footage is real. He didn't backpedal or sugarcoat a word. Nope, he straight up admitted he's got it.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty.
According to insiders in the know, the real kicker of this footage is what it supposedly reveals. Jay-Z allegedly saw illegal antics swirling around him and just did nothing. Even juicier, it allegedly suggests he cashed in on staying quiet while others took the hits. If this holds up, we're not just talking bad karma, this toes the line of full-on criminal trouble.
Because he was my son.
He died because of your...
He was targeted because he's my son.
He
was working on his EP. I bought Philadelphia for him so he didn't have to sign to a company because I knew what it was going to do. He interned at Roc Nation. And they approached him to sacrifice me. I saw his death when he was 19. I moved us here to stop it, to prevent it, to avoid it. They take them anyway to show you what the harm is. Giovanni, his death is why I do what I do.
Gene Deal, Diddy's ex-bodyguard, piled on the drama, claiming Jay-Z and Diddy were way tighter than Jay-Z's lawyers ever let on. Not just casual pals or distant business buddies, these two were close enough to see all the skeletons hiding behind the velvet ropes. That's where the whole could end up in prison chatter comes from. According to these whispers, Jay-Z didn't just ignore red flags. He allegedly knew, allegedly stayed mum, and allegedly had people paid or pressured to keep quiet. If this is legit, we're talking potential obstruction or conspiracy. When Jaguar Wright started spilling similar tea, her interviews vanished fast. She didn't shut up, though. She kept throwing shade at Jay-Z, and tragically, her son was later shot, an event some point to while stressing, zero legal link proven.
It was never investigated. Hype was never questioned. Lenny Kravitz made a statement, and it was never publicized. She was unconscious. She didn't choose to get on that plane. There were phone calls made. There are witnesses who signed NDAs. Why would you need to sign a non-disclosure agreement about a plane crash and what happened leading up to it? Please, someone answer that.
Do you feel like
Deny
Why
that.
the fuck would you need to sign a nigga don't ask about a plane crash if it was accidental?
Do you feel like...
Riddle me that. Riddle me that. Work with me here in this moment.
And I'm going to ask you.
A plane crash should be accidental.
Should be.
Why would any testimony about what happened leading up to it need to be covered under a non-disclosure agreement if there was?
Clips supposedly vanished into thin air. Conversations allegedly went poof. Even the documentary supposedly got the same disappearing act. But now, 50 Cent is dusting off the past, and word is he's roping in Jaguar Wright to spill on what she calls a long trail of serious wrongdoing. The juiciest bomb she drops? Alleged involvement surrounding Aaliyah's death. Every time Jaguar Wright brings it up, she circles back to the same burning question. Why was it never fully investigated? Not half done, not quietly hushed. She claims it was never properly looked into at all.
Carter, now I'm going to ask you, why would non-disclosure agreements need to be signed for an accident?
Okay.
There were over 25 non-disclosure agreements cashed out and recorded regarding the death of that beautiful girl and every other human being that died on that plane with her. What the fuck? What would you need a nigga don't ask for that? And Diddy had Hype Williams the balls. Belly was a money pit.
Question? Yeah.
And Jay-Z got 10 free videos out of Williams.
From Jaguar Wright's point of view, NDAs only matter when someone's desperate to bury the full story. She claims over 25 non-disclosure agreements were signed and cash exchanged after Aaliyah's death. According to her, those contracts supposedly covered everything people saw, everything they heard, and all the events leading up to the fatal flight. And, of course, she circles back to the same question. Why? That's when Jay-Z gets dragged into the spotlight.
Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyoncé, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
From Jaguar Wright's perspective, none of this was accidental. She claims favors got traded, silence got rewarded, and insiders were paid to keep quiet. That, she insists, explains why Jay-Z's name barely pops up when Aaliyah's death gets discussed publicly these days.
Jay-Z, And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both fucked Aaliyah. They shared so much in common. You know? And then there was a falling out. And that's like it never happened. Whoever talks about best of the both worlds, best of both worlds. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks about this shit.
Nobody talks about that project.
That nigga swept that smooth under the rug.
Why?
Yeah, we know why.
You know what? I got a better question.
Yeah.
How valuable is a Biggie Smalls verse?
Yeah.
Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died. It's been over 25 years. Fucking Puffy has been making money on that boy's name longer than he can live. It supported all of Bad Boy. His catalog. Clearly, a Biggie Smalls verse is very valuable. Am I wrong? Does anybody disagree with me?
No, that's facts.
So then what the fuck happened to the commission? What happened to that album?
Right.
It was recorded. It was being mixed and mastered upon Biggie's death. It was supposed to have came out that summer after Biggie's album because Biggie's album was slated. He died a week and a half before his album came out. Then the commission was supposed to come out, and that was supposed to be his exit from Bad Boy. And then starting his own company. So tell me something. And this ain't me being an asshole. I think everybody that knows Sean Carter knows that he will slump anyone in any relationship.
Her core argument sounds simple, but it's deadly serious. If Aaliyah's death was just an accident, there would be zero need for secrecy, legal hush money, or suspicious payouts. She points out how Jay-Z's career skyrocketed soon after. Meanwhile, the questions quietly evaporated, which is why she says his role deserves real investigation. After the deaths of Tupac and Biggie, the race for rap's crown narrowed down to Nas and Jay-Z. According to Jaguar Wright, once that shift hit, everything started tilting in Jay-Z's direction. She claims Nas slowly unraveled and slid out of the spotlight, while Jay-Z kept climbing album after album, deal after deal, until his face was everywhere. Around that same time, Jay-Z was also moving closely with R. Kelly. They dropped multiple records together and even toured. Jaguar Wright alleges they shared tight ties to Aaliyah, too. In her view, these weren't separate worlds moving alone. They were all part of one deeply connected, tightly guarded industry ecosystem.
You know, like if I'm trying to sell something, him and his lawyers, Alex Shapiro, putting a false lawsuit on me, like, like that, devaluing anything that I have or trying to sell. But, or even down to like, we were selling Rockware, right, for like $400 million or whatever. I was going to make $40 million. And right before Tommy Hilfiger signs the papers, he makes an announcement saying that he's not f***ing with Rockware, that he's only f***ing with S. Carter. The whole shit up. And I just feel like he did that only because I was going to make $40 million. Like, he just couldn't see, like, they get so mad if I'm going to make money off them. Like, every time I could have made a really big check, he's always stepped in and intentionally f***ed it up. Every time. Listen, don't ask me, ask the rest of the industry. Like, that's why I got the f*** away. I mean, one of the reasons. Like Jay, I like the way I would look at it, like if you could compare him to like a character now, I'd say he's like the Penguin. He's like ruthless like that with his friends or people that help. At least that's how.
She also dives into how Jay-Z cut ties with those who had his back early on. She singles out Dame Dash, claiming the messy way their partnership imploded shows just how far Jay-Z would go to grab control and shield his cash flow.
Aaliyah died. And then they brought Rich Harrison in, and you know, got to think it's crazy right now. She liked posing with him in pictures for Page 6. Aaliyah didn't. She fell in love with Dame.
and Aaliyah's gone, and you know, you have to start asking yourself questions after being in this business for this long. If you're a halfway intelligent person, when do you start questioning how lucky some motherfuckers keep getting?
Right. Yeah.
Is it really a conspiracy if the same person keeps benefiting off the same kind of tragedy over and over and over again? So to answer your question, I'm sure he's always going to be a billionaire, and I'm sure he's got great things to happen. I mean, look, he's got the job with the NFL. He's hooking all his friends up with the halftime shows. I mean, think about it. Think about the halftime shows. Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, all Rock Nation. Now Rihanna, and then we had the whole LA thing, which of course he was involved in that, and then they pulled Mary J. Blige off the, you know, make sure she got that money for Kendall, and you know, they had that whole moment, you know, but all he's doing is using his friends and the people that he fucks with, or at least the people that signs his non-disclosure agreements. He keeps getting them the Super Bowl gigs. So I mean, like, he's doing all kinds of stuff, you know, and I do not begrudge him. It's just, if you got to do the kind of things that he's done to get where he's gotten, well, fuck it.
She then circles it right back to Aaliyah. Jaguar Wright claims her death happened at a moment when several careers were shifting fast. She points out that shortly after Aaliyah passed, Jay-Z's power and success kept climbing, while others slowly disappeared from the scene. According to her, spending enough years in the industry makes patterns impossible to miss. And she says the same name somehow walked through every storm untouched.
Wright explained how Rihanna was sold to Jay-Z at 16 years old. She explained how it was super sketchy that Rihanna got brought to America at only 16 years old without any parental supervision, and how she auditioned for Jay-Z at 3 o'clock in the morning. She explained how it didn't make sense that Rihanna's parents would let her fly by herself after just meeting Evan Roberts all the way to America to meet with Jay-Z in the middle of the night. And she alleged that Rihanna's dad got a $500,000 payout for letting this happen. She alleged since this was all out of the blue, Rihanna would have had to flown on a private plane to get from Barbados to America because she wouldn't have had a visa and her parents were not around with her to fly to America. And Rihanna even explained how Jay-Z would not let her leave until she signed the recording contract, and the label locked her in the office until 3 a.m.
You've gone through some big changes since you've been signed at Def Jam. Can you tell me what are the biggest changes you've gone through from St. Michael's, Barbados until now you being a superstar?
Well, one of them for sure is being away from my friends and family. After growing up around my mom and all my friends for 17 years and then moving to a big city with no one because all my family and friends are still in Barbados. So after moving to a big city with, you know, basically around strangers, that was the hardest thing for me to cope with at first.
Are you lonely sometimes?
I wasn't lonely, but I really do miss my family and my friends.
And a lot of people have speculated this for years about Rihanna because people found it super weird. Right before Jay-Z signed Rihanna, he was working heavily with a 16-year-old Tierra Marie who signed to Def Jam by L.A. Reid. And after a while, there was rumors circulating all over that Tierra Marie and Rihanna actually had a fallout because Rihanna's career skyrocketed and Tierra Marie got let go from Def Jam. And allegedly, Tierra Marie is the Jane Doe that is suing Diddy and L.A. Reid for SA when she was just 16 years old.
And that's exactly why 50 Cent keeps dragging Jay-Z into the spotlight even years later. For him, it's never just a fame feud. It's about exposing the alleged games Jay-Z played, the power moves, and the way he treated anyone trying to break into the same industry. At the same time, some of these claims hint at serious wrongdoing. So, the real question is, what explosive twist comes next?